Ahhh, the astronomy podcast for people who are overwhelmed by the universe but want to be its friend.
Aw, hi, that's us. I am Dr. Moiya McTier. I'm an astrophysicist, a folklorist, and a friend to the universe. I almost have its number memorized.
That's a big deal. I don't know anyone's number besides my parents.
Right, like only the closest people to you.
Yeah. And I'm Corinne Caputo. I'm a writer, and I don't remember my husband's phone number. I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, sometimes I practice it, like my emergency contact phone number.
Yeah.
Just in case something happens.
I do know it. It just is going to take me a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to make sure it's not I know his family's phone numbers are really close in digits because they all got the same plan.
Yeah.
So I would just have to make sure. Although I guess if somebody called one of his family members in an emergency, it would still get to him. So maybe this is good.
Mm-hmm. I was watching this show. This is a total tangent, but I was watching the show Ghosts, the U.S. version. And there's an episode where one of the ghosts in the flashback to her life, she gets a telephone, and she's one of the first people in her town to get a telephone. And someone's like, okay, so what's your number? And she's like, it's 4. And then I realized that telephone numbers are it's the number
oh my God.
of the telephone.
Wow.
It's given in a sequential order, right?
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know if it is because maybe it is, but certainly numbers have been when a number gets discontinued. Oh my God, I feel so ancient and yet young for not knowing this. Do they backfill that number or do they start?
I think sometimes they backfill, in modern times, because you can get an old number that's been discontinued.
Yeah, when my parents almost canceled our landline, they have canceled our landline, but I was so sad emotionally because I had such a tie to our phone, our house phone number, and then so did everyone else. So I think that they just transferred it to a dummy phone, it's still on the plan, but it's not really used by anyone. We just couldn't give it up to a stranger.
It's the nostalgia phone number.
Exactly. Okay, well, today we don't need to use our phones at all because we don't even have service where we are. We are recording at a campsite in our RV camper. There's a crackling fire. Maybe we'll spot a UFO or two.
Maybe. I'm open to the experience.
I wouldn't mind. Maybe. I don't know. I'm scared. Maybe from a distance.
Yeah. But the fire is really nice. And
the fire is so nice.
There will be s'mores. UFO or not, there will be s'mores.
Kind of a must-have around here.
Corinne, why did you want to come out to a campfire to discuss this episode?
Because we are talking about, I think it's 2011, the 2011 movie Paul, which largely takes place in an RV camper.
True. It brings back fond memories.
And this movie to me was... we'll get into it.
Yeah, we will.
Moiya and I were looking for a fun sci-fi-ish movie, almost in the vein of Galaxy Quest, and Paul came up, and I should have guessed it was going to be what it was.
To be fair, I think you warned me. I think you were like, Moiya, this movie might not have aged well. And I was like, yeah, but... Armageddon wasn't supposed to have aged well either. Let's give it a shot before we go do a more serious movie. And listeners, I'm sorry, but at least now I can tell you my advice is that it's not worth it. Yeah,
I agree. So we'll just give you the summary and then what we liked and didn't. And I feel like our didn't might be longer, but then you never have to see it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great for you, and only we have to go through it. So
and the good news is I did not pay extra for this movie. It is on Peacock, which I already have.
Yeah, so, it was free for both of us.
Yeah. I'll give a little summary.
Thank you.
So it's a sci-fi comedy directed by Greg Mottola, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who you might know from Shaun of the Dead, which is a great movie. And
Kristen they're an iconic combo.
Yeah, they are. Apparently they have an Amazon Prime show that I never watched that came out in 2020 maybe that had one season. And despite this not being it for me, I might check that out one night. It also stars Kristen Wiig and Seth Rogen's voice, and it's about two British comic book nerds, Graham and Clive, and they're on a road trip across America to visit UFO hotspots, and along the way they encounter Paul, an alien.
It's actually kind of cute. Like the premise is cute when you think.
I agree.
When you don't think too hard about it, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give us like more of a scene-by-scene breakdown without going too far into it. But we open on a UFO crashing outside this like middle of nowhere farmhouse. This young girl comes running out screaming for her dog, Paul. It's a classic like alien movie scene, like a crash landing scene. And then we cut to this Comic-Con convention. I think it actually is Comic-Con or not like a, but either way,
yeah,
it's like a Comic-Con
it is Comic-Con. They say Comic-Con, and I don't know if they had to get the rights for that, but
yeah,
but
that's why I was
it.
like, I assumed it was like just an impression of one, but maybe again I was stuck on Galaxy Quest. But we meet these British best friends, Graham and Clive, and they're having the time of their life.
Truly. I don't know if I've ever had as much fun as they were just standing next to a tiny little diorama of
it was so sweet. It's really sweet and cute. And then there's a meet and greet with this like popular author they love named Adam Shadowchild. And we learn that Clive is trying to write his own sci-fi book, and Graham is illustrating the book. So in addition to going to this convention, we learn when they're back at their hotel that they're going to embark on this road trip through the southwest of the USA to visit UFO crash landing sites, or just like any kind of conspiratorial location that has witnessed an alien before. And they have this map. And they stop at this alien-themed diner run by Jane Lynch.
Love. And I love a road trip.
I love a road trip. But this is where the movie takes a huge turn for me. There's this brush with these two very homophobic guys in the diner. And of course, and just as a warning, there is so much homophobia in this movie. And if that is not something you can listen to, please take care and never watch this movie and don't even listen to this episode. Obviously, that's one of our peeves for later. But for now, I'll continue the summary, which is they are threatened by these guys and like rush to leave the diner. And of course, in that rush, they dent the guy's truck, but they speed away. And later they stop at a UFO, like mailbox type thing to take some pictures.
Yeah, the real life version of the tiny diorama they were so happy to be next to.
Yes.
At Comic-Con. They're like, I can't believe we're here in real life.
And they all, like, they each take a picture of each other, and it's very cute.
Little nerds.
But there's a car on this empty road, like, speeding towards them, and they're like, oh no, it's probably those guys. So they rush into the van, and suddenly the car cuts them off and crashes and tumbles in this, like, dramatic sequence. And you're like, no one can survive that. And they get out to help the driver. There's no one in the car. But then a voice through the brush speaks, and it's Paul, the alien. Clive immediately faints, and Graham agrees to give Paul a ride. Later, Special Agent Zoyle, played by Jason Bateman, of the Secret Service, arrives at the car crash site.
Of the Secret Service? That's what he's with?
That's what Wikipedia said. Obviously, they don't really explicitly say that. He's just from the government.
Yeah. Okay.
Secret Service wouldn't quite make sense because that's like more. Maybe it's Secret Service lowercase.
We're the Secret Service. But not that Secret Service
not
man.
That one. Exactly.
Okay.
So he's on the phone with his superior, known as the big guy. It is a woman. That he's closing in on Paul, and she says that she sends out these two rookies, Haggard and O'Reilly, to assist. And these two rookies are played by Bill Hader and Joe Latrulio. Yes. Another fun duo. So back in the camper, Paul is explaining that just like how he got here a little bit. Like the government fed his image to the public to keep them from panicking in case any human encounters his race, which I loved, and I will talk more about later. And they spend the night at an RV park run by like Christian fundamentalists, which is where we meet Ruth Buggs, played by Kristen Wiig, and her father. And it's a nice night. They're grilling hot dogs, they're dancing, and Ruth, while she's doing the laundry, thinks she sees like a third pair of feet in the campfire light, but then she gets called in and she goes inside. But in the morning, she comes to their camper and asks where the third guy is. And somehow Clive and Graham and her and Paul, who's hiding in the bathroom, get into like this spat about science versus religion, which eventually frustrates Paul enough that he like comes out of the bathroom he's hiding in, and in an attempt to get her to believe in aliens, like being like, well, then how could I be here if your beliefs are true? And she faints, of course, the common reaction.
Thinks he's a little demon.
Yep. So the boys take her with them now. And Ruth's dad reports her missing. He chats with Zoyle. and explains like she was injured in 4th grade and lost vision in her left eye, and it should be easy to spot her because of her black eye patch. And Kristen Wiig's character is wearing this black eye patch.
It's like glasses, but one of the lenses is black, which is really fashionable. I think.
Yes.
I think perhaps too fashionable for this like fundamentalist camper park owner. Like,
you know what I did like about it though? I think if they had done like a more tropey version of an eye patch, it would have been too pirate. And like she actually had this injury, so I agree with you that it felt like this can't be the most scientific eye patch. But I appreciate that it like we're not. Because there's so many cheap jokes in this that I'm like, I appreciate we're not living in the pirate joke world.
That's fair. Because, they would have made it if it had been a pirate patch.
Exactly. Okay, so later Ruth wakes up in the RV. Obviously, she freaks out. And she gets in another, like, science versus religion debate with Paul. And Paul uses his powers to, like, cure her injured eye. And he tells her, like, the mysteries of this world. There's this, like, memory transfer thing he can do.
So cool.
It is very cool. And I like the sequence that they like animate with it because he does it a few more times to the other boys in the RV. And then they stop at a bar. Ruth calls her father, but like her phone has been tapped because she's like trying to be found. And Zoil intercepts the call. And the homophobic guys from earlier are at the bar. And like a bar fight ensues. Of course they are. This town probably has 3 bars.
But like, are they... Didn't they go to the next spot? Yeah.
I thought they'd been long gone. And then also, those guys went into the diner and were like, as if they'd never been in that diner before. So, like, maybe they're on their own road trip of, like, bars around the middle of nowhere. I don't know. I doubt it, but
yeah,
I'm trying to make sense of it.
I would love it if they were also UFO stans and were going on the same cross-country road trip that Graham and Clive were on, but just didn't know it. That would tickle me, personally.
That would be really fun. Also, Ruth's dad is at the bar, but they, like, just miss each other. And then they do see each other at the end, but then her dad gets knocked out, like, in the middle of this bar fight. And at some point around now, we learn that the government has decided Paul has completed his usefulness with them, and like the only thing left to learn about him is like figure out his healing powers, but that would require the government remove his brain, which is why Paul has been trying to escape, because he's not trying to become like a lab rat or dead.
Totally relatable.
Yes. So now they're at another RV park, and Ruth is questioned by Agent Zoil, but she plays dumb, and she's no longer wearing the eye patch, so like he doesn't recognize that it's who he's looking for. So Haggard and O'Reilly have figured out that they're looking for an alien. Because up until now, they didn't know exactly what they were searching for. They were just kind of like blindly looking for something weird. Like they found Clive's book when they were searching the RV, but like that wasn't really it. So they're confronting Zoil to be like, we know it's an alien. And then Zoil like puts a gun to their head and orders them to return to the base, but they go behind his back and try to catch the alien on their own. Paul is now like, I need you to take me to this place. I'm not, like, doesn't really tell them where they're headed yet. But Graham, Clive, Ruth, and Paul end up at Tara's house. And Tara, this is the house from the very first scene where the UFO crash landed. And we meet old Tara. She's not that old. She's just older than she was as a kid. She's probably in her, like, 60s.
Yeah. Which, because the crash happened, what, in the 60s? When
did
the crash happen?
I think it was the 60s.
Which is,
she'd be
like,
50s.
50 years older. Yeah.
So he's at her house, and he, like, is here to apologize. Like, he killed her dog, and we learn that she's, like, kind of been living this isolated, lonely life because no one believed her. And, like, at first she's angry, but then she forgives Paul and is just excited to see him again and, like, be proven right. Because I'm sure part of her was like, am I crazy? Did that actually happen? And she says that she, like, you know, rescued him from his ship and, like, nursed him back to health until the government arrived. And they had some kind of relationship, like, mother-son relationship in a way before he went off. But then she never heard from him again. And also, his crash killed her dog. So,
yeah. I now have a rule. I'm going to look up every single movie we decide to watch on doesthedogdie.com before I watch it.
Yes. And luckily for this movie, it wasn't like any kind... You never see it.
Right.
But it is implied, so another reason to take care. Okay, but now they're at Tara's house, and then suddenly Haggard, O'Reilly, and Zoil arrive and surround the house. And there's this massive shootout. So crazy, in fact, that the house completely explodes in pieces. This piece of land is, like, demolished, and the whole group flees, and O'Reilly shoots at them, which, like I just said, like, that's what ignites the gas. Like, Tara had, like, left her stove on, like, to leave the gas filling the home, and then when a gun goes off, it, like, blows up the house.
And right before that, they're complaining that the RV is so far away. Bet you're happy now.
Yes, exactly. So then Haggard, like, catches up to the RV but loses control of his car and drives off a cliff. So they're gone.
Wow. They really did that with the whole explosion cloud and everything.
There's so many moments in this that are, like, unnecessarily violent for me. Like, I'm leaving beats out of this summary, but, like, there's a moment where Haggard shoots Ruth's dad.
Yeah.
As her dad is, and I was like, I thought he was dead.
Me too. I was like, oh, okay, bye-bye. That's one less person chasing them, I guess. The dad is an asshole.
Yes, completely. But I was like, I don't think that man needed to get shot in the head.
While he's driving.
Not that anyone does, but exactly. It just felt like, what the fuck was that? Anyway, Zoil reassures the big guy, because he's back on the phone, that he will have Paul back within an hour, but she's so tired of waiting, and she, like, orders this, like, military response. So now Paul, Graham, Clive, Ruth, and now Tara arrive at this, like, the Wikipedia said it was the Devil's Tower National Monument, and they set off this firework that they had stolen earlier to, like, cue Paul's alien friend, the mothership, to pick him up. And this is a plan Paul arranged a while ago, but, like, the government had moved up his, like, brain removal surgery by a day, which, like, had thrown everything off.
So are we to expect that all of this is taking place in a day?
I think there's 2 nights, with the alien. The night they find him, the night at Ruth's RV site, and then there's one other night when Ruth gets high, when she smokes weed for the first time. Yeah. So this is now the 4th night. So suddenly a helicopter appears, and there's agents and the big guy. And guess who the big guy is? It's Sigourney Weaver.
Love her.
So Zoil pulls up, initiates a standoff, unexpectedly shooting the big guy's team instead of Paul. And it turns out Zoil is Paul's friend. He was attempting to help Paul escape this whole time. A classic twist. He even says that Paul introduced him to his wife, which I thought was very funny.
That's so cute.
And during the fight, Tara knocks out Sigourney Weaver, the big guy. And then Ruth's dad arrives unexpectedly, alive, and is scared of Paul, fires at Paul, and hits Graham instead. And Graham is, like, really shot, basically dead.
Like, gaping hole in chest.
I hated seeing it. And Paul comes to the rescue, uses his healing powers, reviving Graham, which basically drains him of all life, and he, like, shoots back, like, completely dead. Which makes Ruth's extremely religious father, he does come back to life, and Ruth's dad now thinks Paul's the Messiah, which kind of made me laugh.
I mean, he just saw a miracle.
Yes, exactly. So now Graham's back alive. Graham and Ruth admit their feelings for each other. Big guy regains consciousness. Oh no. Holds up the group at gunpoint. Just as she's about to kill them, she's squashed by the landing transport ship.
Like a bug.
Like a bug. Like, it crazy.
That's like a really heavy set of stairs.
Yes. They, like, drop. It's like your attic. If you had an attic, like, you pull down the stairs that might, like, collapse into themselves. It looked exactly like that. So the mothership's here, and Paul's going to get on board. He gives everyone a hug goodbye. There's this, like, emotional goodbye. And he offers Tara a chance to go with him, promising, like, to give her a better life, because he clearly ruined her childhood, adulthood, and killed her dog.
Yeah.
And the aliens go home as, you know, the rest of the gang is down on Earth waving goodbye. And we cut to 2 years later. Graham, Clive, and Ruth are at another Comic-Con. And we see Graham and Clive are at the convention this year promoting their new best-selling novel titled, appropriately, Paul. And they are sharing the stage with Adam Shadowchild, the, like, mega hit author we met earlier in the film.
Aw, full circle.
And it's a happy ending. Yeah.
And no one died.
And no one,
except for Sigourney Weaver.
And I guess Bill Hader and Joe Latrulio?
Yeah.
Who I did like.
No one who wasn't trying to kill Paul died.
Yeah. Yep. And that's Paul.
That's the 2011 masterpiece, Paul.
Hey, it's me, Corinne. I hope you're having a great day, and I wanted to say thank you to our Sunlight stars, Lissa, Scott Reynolds, Ian O'Leary, Augustin, and Tom T, and of course, Anyone can support us and hear your name on the show and make it to our patron star chart, all by supporting us on Patreon for just about $1 per episode. If you sign up for an annual membership, you get a 13% discount. Pretty good. Find the star chart, Patreon info, and more at our website, palebluepod.com, or by going right to patreon.com/palebluepod. And if you can't support us financially, we still love you so much. Don't worry about it. You can support us by reviewing the show on whatever app you use. We love those. I love reading the new reviews. And you can share the show with your friends. We also love that. And I want to recommend another show to you before you go called Big Game Hunger in the Multitude family. Big Game Hunger is a weekly comedy show where Jenna Stieber and friends craft the next big video game every episode. Starting with randomly generated genres, concepts, and a vibe, Jenna and a variety of funny and game-obsessed guests take the ideas far enough that they can pitch it to a shadowy board of rich investors. By the end of the episode, they have honed an IP so irresistible, you'll be ready to risk $25 for it on Steam. Get ready to laugh about games you love, learn about game trends, and yearn for titles that will surely never make their release date. New episodes come out every Monday. Okay, back to the show.
Okay, then let's get into our peeves.
Let's start with our peeves.
Let's do it. Would you like to go first, Corinne?
I'm sure we share this peeve. Just the number one peeve is the rampant homophobia.
Yeah.
Like, it is so insane that it's hard to believe that this movie is as recent as it is. And, like, not that it is hard to believe. Of course, we all know, like, how close we are to just discrimination. But I think I was just so disappointed in us. Not you and I, but, like, the royal us. Of,
yes.
Like, really, this is what it is. Because then you'll have moments where Paul is like, it's okay if you guys are gay. Like, that's fine with me. Like, because and it's just like, this is still bad. It reminds me of that era of, like, those people are not okay with you being gay, but I am. And, like, that's still not it. That's still not right.
It still winks at you thinking that, like, other people are going to have a problem with it. Just reminds me that people have a problem with it.
And also, like, it could have been a sweet story of, like, two male best friends who, like, have bonded over the years over, like, these nerdy interests and who collaborate on, like, projects to this day where, like, you write the story and I illustrate it. And, like, there is an emotional thread of Clive feeling like he's losing Graham as Graham gets more interested in Ruth and has a relationship with Paul. Like, I think that could have been a strong enough emotional theme. Or, like, it's clear that they are best friends. It doesn't add anything to the story by being homophobic about it. And it takes away any kind of, like, much-needed emotional element of, like, showing men how to be best friends with each other.
Yeah. Especially now. Well, I know the movie wasn't made now, but especially now, that's a really important lesson for people to see. And the idea of a bromance, like, buddy comedy was around in 2011. Yeah. So this could have leaned in that direction, but didn't. And it's real disappointing.
But it didn't.
It's
anyway.
the whole like pantomiming scene.
Oh my God.
Awful. I'm glad we didn't have to see most of it. There's like a scene where Paul is trying to ask if they're gay but doesn't want to say gay, and so he pantomimes a whole bunch of stuff, and it's just why?
Yeah. It's so dumb. It's just like, this isn't comedy. Actually, you have to be a better joke writer than this if you're going to be working.
Yeah. I'm glad we don't see much stuff like that these days.
Same.
My first peeve after that, obviously, was I'm disappointed that they went with a classic little gray man alien.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a theme of mine.
Okay, the fact that they tried to explain it is nice. But they, to me, explained only one side of it. Like, to me, the idea of there being such a humanoid-looking alien that even has spaceman balls, like they said, and has similar enough anatomy to us that it can take on human ailments while he's healing, like, that is the issue I have with humanoid aliens, not whether or not we know what to expect them to look like. Like, Paul could have been very weird-looking. But it was 2011, and
we weren't creative at all.
And also, that's kind of outside the scope of this movie, right? Like, this movie is trying to be basic comedy, It's not trying to delve
like,
into, potential astrobiology.
Right. It's very broad appeal stuff.
But it's nice if that's one of your thieves.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Another peeve. There's a moment I think Jason Bateman's smoking a cigarette and then just throws it on the ground. And this is such a small little thing, but they're in a desert and it felt so like specifically reckless, and like that's part of the point of the character, but it just scared me. I was like, oh my god, because of the action in this movie, I was like, am I about to see a huge explosion like right behind this character?
And there already was a big explosion,
and there's so many unnecessary explosions in this. That's my next peeve.
But like a weird amount of explosion. Let's just get into it, because it's a weird amount of explosions that's not like. Is it Tarantino who always does like the really big explosion movies?
I would not know.
There's some director who like has a lot of explosions and gratuitous violence. He's like known for that.
Yeah.
But it didn't reach that level. It was just like in the weird middle zone where it's too much for like an average comedy, but not enough to be like a real action adventure movie.
Yeah, I think I didn't feel like the explosions changed anything. They weren't propelling the story. They weren't like... They were just explosions for the sake of explosions. It was like hitting a rubric of like a mass appeal comedy from 2011. It's going to have like 2 car crashes, 3 explosions, like 1 whatever. It like checked all the boxes, but I was like, this is just so gratuitous. And it wasn't like good enough to be like, oh, the action scenes were like immersive and... Who cares? Like, I don't care about the stories in, like, Fast and the Furious. You're, like, there to watch cars fight each other, whatever that movie's about.
Yeah, we're there to see fast and furious things.
Yes. So this one, it feels like such a silly thing to complain about, but, like, the woman's house completely exploding and, like, not a bit of it is left made me really sad. I just felt so sad. I was like, she might have had a lonely life, but, like, her last 50 years of things are in that house.
I mean, now she gets to live with an alien civilization, so I don't feel too bad for her.
I'm just thinking how lonely she's going to be. I'm just being a huge pessimist about this.
Really?
But I was like, that is so weird. She should live with the aliens. He did the right thing by offering her a ride, but I wish her house survived. Maybe because I'm just desperate for the idea of home ownership.
I see a little bit of projection there from your end. And also from mine, because if all of my worldly possessions were destroyed and then an alien offered me a spot on their mega city ship, like, yes, immediately I would go. I almost pray for that every single night, you know?
Yeah. I'm imagining a world where, like, Moiya has a house and she says yes to the trip. And I'm like, but I thought part of the deal was that I'd get the house. Like, you go on the ship and I get the house.
Okay. When the aliens when they come
for you.
Yeah, I'll make it a condition of my going with them that they have to either build or rebuild the house for you.
Perfect.
My next peeve is Ruth's dad.
Yeah.
The way he treated her in the beginning made me so sad. And also the fact that he was chasing her this whole time, not out of any sort of, like, protection, not real protectiveness, but a warped sense of ownership and protection of property, which I really didn't like. But I did find the large part of this story that was built around American fundamental Christianity, I thought it was fascinating. I thought it really said something about what Brits thought about America in 2011.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I remember 2011 living in my small town in rural Pennsylvania, being one of the, like, only openly atheist people, and it was not well received. Like, I think people forget that it wasn't that long ago at all that Christianity had, like, a much stronger hold on culture.
Yeah, definitely. That was also, like, of the time. Now there's, like, 400 more horrible things that are
It was a simpler time.
It was. Oh, God.
Do you have any more peeves?
not specifically, because I was like, if I start, I won't stop.
Yeah.
So please go ahead.
Oh, I think I'm in a similar boat. This humor was not for me. I can recognize that I was not the target audience. They were not trying to make this movie for, like, queer Black women with PhDs.
No. I don't even think they thought that person was existing when they made this movie.
I really didn't like the recurring joke of the alien on the cover of
oh my god
Clive's book.
Okay, the joke, listeners, is that she has 3 boobs, and everyone's like, awesome.
Literally every single dude who sees this,
like, great idea.
yeah, like it's revolutionary.
The one thing I can appreciate about that joke is that every single man who interacts with that piece of art that's drawn is, like, so stupid that they all have this, like, extremely silly response to it. It's like none of these people are, like, they're all just so simple. But you're right. The joke was done, like, truly 9 times throughout
throughout the whole thing. Even the alien does it at the end.
Yes, the alien says it in alien language. He's like, that's awesome. And then, wait, Moiya, and then did you see the actual cover of, like, the final scene where they, like, have published this book, Paul, and are, like, the audience is cheering them on? The cover flashes before the credits roll, and it's an illustration of Paul, but with 3 boobs.
What?
Which I did find that funny, because it was like, that is so not at all who Paul was, that it's funny that they were like, this piece of our art is so good, we have to include it in this. But yeah, it was a movie for a very stereotypical kind of boy from 2011.
Yeah, you're right. That said, there were some things that that made me chuckle, or that I kind of appreciated.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know which category to put this next one in, so maybe it can be a nice little joining tissue. There's a scene right at the beginning, after they go to Comic-Con, they're in the hotel, and I don't know if it's like the hotel manager or like whatever, someone from the hotel comes in. Maybe they're delivering food. Yes, they're delivering food. And this guy whose name I think is Jorge asks, like, what are you doing? They explain that they're going on a trip to visit U of O sites, and then one of them asks, "Do you believe in aliens?" And with, like, the most deadpan face, Jorge then goes, "What do you mean, aliens?" And everyone is silent for like 5 seconds, and it's kind of amazing, but also I can imagine Jorge's pain in that moment.
Yes. And also he was like, I've put you in an impossible position, and that is fun for me.
Yeah. What do you mean? Because it is fun to watch white people squirm.
Yeah, exactly.
Moments.
A very Z-way kind of joke.
Yeah.
So I did like that Paul looks like this because he's the one who fed that description to the world from the start. And I think I liked it because we so often see these aliens who look like Paul in these other movies we watch, and there's no explanation for it. It's just, like, simply a cheat code so that us as viewers understand what's happening. And I liked this explanation of it. I did buy it, of like, well, the conspiracy goes straight to the top. The aliens look like that because there's one alien that looks like that. Yeah. So I did find that funny. I liked the attempt to explain why.
You're right. I should give them something for effort. I should acknowledge it.
They don't need anything, but I appreciate you listening to me.
There's a throwaway line where Paul says that Earth's gravity adds 10 pounds. And I do like that from a science perspective.
I haven't thought of it like that, and that is a really fun way
to
think of it.
Which means that the planet or whatever that Paul and his people are from has, slightly weaker gravity. So it's slightly less dense, which is exciting.
There were a few, prop and costuming jokes I really did like. Kristen Wiig's character, Ruth, when she first comes on the camper to, like, question who the third guy is, she's wearing a shirt that says, "Evolve This." And it's, like, a fundamentalist shirt, but I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And there's a scene when they first go to the diner that Jane Lynch's character runs. They buy some, like, you know, little merch, and they get a bumper sticker that says "Alien" on board. Yes. And then when they meet Paul and they, like, get in the car to, like, go take off running to wherever Paul needs to go, Graham runs and takes the "Alien" on board sticker off the RV. Yes. Which I thought was genuinely very funny. As if, like, that's a giveaway, or, like, people will take that seriously if that is on your car.
I know. It was genuinely hilarious, but it was objectively the wrong move strategically.
Oh, yeah.
Because
it was so... Now you're more suspicious, actually.
Exactly.
But it really made me laugh.
So funny. I do want to say something about Paul's abilities. Though the abilities themselves weren't well explained in terms of how they work or what their limits are, I do like how they were all introduced in an entertaining way that made sense with the story. Like the mind meld thing that he does to stop the religion versus science debate with Ruth is nice. I would like one of those mind melds.
Yeah, same.
Like one of those info dumps, please. So I don't like how they planned the powers, but this is not supposed to be like a very hard system. You know, there's not supposed to be lots of reasoning behind it. It's just supposed to be fun. But then after he heals the bird, which is how we learn that he has this healing ability. I like that it blends in with the story. He has this line that killed me. He brings the bird back to life, and then he immediately eats it. And he goes, "I'm not going to eat a dead bird, am I?"
Yeah.
That got me.
It's like this beautiful moment where, like, you just brought something back to life, and Clive and Graham are feeling guilty that they've killed something by driving. And he's so right. Don't eat a dead bird.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, I guess all birds are dead.
Well, when we eat them, yes. But if we had the option,
eat a fresh bird.
Also, if you just find a dead bird, you don't know how long it's been there. You're not bones. So,
yes.
So you don't know what types of creatures it has.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
So true. Yeah.
One of my last thieves was that I did like the Jason Bateman twist where Agent Zoyle is actually a friend of Paul and has been trying to beat the big guy to finding him so that Paul actually can escape. I thought that was fun. And I really believed that he was a bad guy.
Yeah, me too. I didn't see it coming. I didn't think to expect any sort of twist from this movie.
Yeah, same. So
which is how they get you. If the whole movie is so stupid except for one less stupid twist.
Yes. And also, like, the movie on paper, it's not better on paper, but it, like, is clearly, like, thought out, and the beats are very movie. Like, of course, this is when it would turn, and, like, this is when things get crazy, and this is when they get close, but not all the way. Like, it was clearly there's effort and thought being put into this movie, and I wish it had been put into every aspect of it. And you know, it's a time capsule.
That it is. My last thief is the 1 second shot that we get of people's mothership at the end. I just want the whole movie to be remade starting at that point. I want to know more about that ship. It looked like it had everything.
I also did laugh when the ship slowly pulls away and they are still just, like, awkwardly waving goodbye.
Yeah, and then Paul's like, "I'm sorry, the ship takes a really long time to take off."
Yes, it's one of those silly jokes that does make me laugh.
Yeah, they got a couple chuckles out of me. A couple genuine chuckles. Would you now like to rate the show according to our very official rubric?
Absolutely.
Listeners, if you haven't joined us for a movie episode before, we have a very official rubric where we judge the movie. This is our opinion. We judge the movie based on 5 different categories. The first category is story, like the plot of it. Then we have scenery, which is writing and production. How does it look? We have steaminess, which is intentionally broad. We have scientific accuracy, which I don't think is very broad at all. And then we have the soothing factor. How soothed or anxious does this movie make us feel about the universe? And each of these categories can get a score from 0 to 3. What do you want to be scoring out of today, Corinne? Little gray men, spaceships, out of Pauls. Yes. How many Pauls are we going to give the movie Paul today out of 15? Let's get into it. Okay, the story. How many Pauls do we want to give it in the story category? Did you like the story?
I think the story is like a 2 to 3 for me because it was like there are details of the story I would cut, obviously, to improve it, but it was like a solid story of like two best friends who are primed for an alien, meet one, and embark on a crazy adventure. Yeah,
you're right. And you said it before, it hit the beats. It was very movie.
It was very movie. It's giving movie.
You're right. Nothing extraordinary. It didn't go above and beyond. It wasn't film, you know?
No.
But movie.
There's movie and then there's film.
and then I think there's like cinema.
Yes. Yes. And this was movie.
This was movie, which I think is like a 2.
2.
Scenery. How did you think this movie looked and sounded?
Actually, it did look good. Like, Paul the alien, it's not this, like, horrible version of computer effects. It's, like, a perfectly tolerable, like, graphic. He's animated the whole time, so I was impressed by everyone's performance.
He was?
I assume. Unless, was somebody there, like, wearing, like, green dots on their face?
I actually don't know. I never know how those things are done.
Me neither. Well, their eyeline,
if it's like
Seth Rogen is so tall. Like, their eyeline was always low for Paul.
Yeah, but they definitely didn't have Seth Rogen there.
Yeah.
But I thought it could have been like a person in a little suit.
Oh, wait. Okay, I just Googled Paul behind the scenes video. And they had a little robot with Seth Rogen's face, like, on it. Maybe this is just how they did the animations. Well, this is how they recorded the animation stuff. I don't think that Graham and Clive were acting off of him. No, it looks like he wasn't there on set for the...
Okay, so it is like animation. Yeah.
So I'm impressed. Everyone really convinced me there was an alien.
There was only one scene, I think, when Ruth goes to like pat Paul's head or something where I could tell what they showed wasn't actually reality. But for 2011, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, and he did look really good. And the scene where he's doing the info dump, the mind meld, looked
fun.
Good. That was fun.
I liked that a lot.
The writing.
Bad. Like the parts that are like discriminatory are bad and trump anything that could have been good, I think.
Yeah.
So I feel like that takes... So and now I'm like, is it a 2?
I'm thinking a 1.5.
1.5, I'm in.
Yeah.
Steaminess is next, right?
Steaminess is next. And this is like, does it hit the appropriate level of steaminess for this movie?
Yes.
There is that relationship between Ruth and Graham. But it's incredibly awkward.
It
all
is.
Up until the epilogue.
I didn't really buy it.
Mm-mm.
And I wish I had bought it.
Yeah.
Because then I would have bought more of Clive's sadness.
Yes. I was just about to say, I don't know if it served any purpose, this romance between them, but you're right. That was the purpose, to make it feel like Graham and Clive were moving apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, bummer steaminess.
Yeah, underwhelming.
Like a 1?
Steam. That's a 1.
Hee.
Oh, scientific accuracy.
Oh, wow.
Well, they gave me a humanoid alien, a classic form of humanoid alien, and only explained half of it. They had this whole movie takes place on Earth, and so there's very little space physics or science that I can point to or nitpick. I do think that spaceship that they showed at the end was so massive, and it was quite close to Earth. Like it was within the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that seems a little suspicious to me, that there wouldn't be some sort of like at least mass distortion or like air current distortion. You're trying to tell me like birds aren't flying into that and then being found the next day. I think that hasn't been thought through, and it shouldn't have been thought through for this movie.
Yeah,
but
it was supposed to be like over the top.
Yeah, but nothing about this movie was scientifically accurate for me. Even the explosion at Tara's house, I think, was bigger than would be realistic. I don't think the whole house would be just,
You're right.
just kaboom like that.
Okay, so 1.
That's me being generous. And the soothing factor. Did this movie soothe or terrify you?
It didn't scare me. I think it just made me like... It made me think I needed to watch something else before I go to bed. It was like, this isn't how I wanted to end the night.
But not because of anxiety. Was it just because you didn't like the movie?
Just because I didn't like it. I was like, this is how I spent my time.
Yeah.
So this is like a 1 for me.
Yeah. I mean, from a universe perspective, Paul was pretty chill. Paul was pretty great. And his people also seemed pretty nice. They came and picked him up when he was in trouble.
That's true.
They also apparently know what boobs are.
That's so true.
Which shouldn't be a guarantee. But because it presents this alien species as pretty nice and not like antagonistic to humanity, I find it soothing on that front.
Yeah, that does make sense. I buy that.
Want to do a 1.5?
That's fine with me.
Okay. This is 357. Oh, wow.
This is our lowest movie ever.
Yeah, and I think that is accurate. I think it should be our lowest movie ever. We have given the movie Paul 7 Pauls out of 15. Which is our lowest score ever. So we set it at the top, and we're going to say it again. This is probably a skip. You probably don't need to see this movie.
Yeah, total skip.
If you happen to be a 12-year-old boy... Maybe.
and you're in 2011 listening to this.
Yeah. Honestly, no. I don't think that 12-year-old boys should be subject to that type of bad humor. Like, I don't think that they should be shown it as an example.
But I do think you should go be best friends with someone, make art with them, and tell them you love them. That's the takeaway for boys.
Oh, yeah. That's the takeaway for the episode. That's where we're going to end.
And we've got s'mores to make.
Yeah, we do. Okay, let's go do that. If you have best friends, or not, you're still space. The universe can be your best friend.
Bye.
Bye. Pale Blue Pod was created by Moiya McTier and Corinne Caputo with help from the Multitude Productions team. Our theme music is by Evan Johnston, and our cover art is by Shay McMullen. Our audio editing is handled by the incomparable Misha Stanton.
Stay in touch with us and the universe by following @PaleBluePod on Twitter and Instagram, or check out our website, palebluepod.com. We're a member of Multitude, an independent podcast collective and production studio. If you like Pale Blue Pod, you will love the other shows that live on our website at multitude.productions.
If you want to support Pale Blue Pod financially, join our community over at patreon.com/palebluepod. For just about $1 per episode, you get a shout out on one of our shows and access to director's commentary for each episode. The very best way, though, to help Pale Blue Pod grow is to share it with your friends. So send this link to one person who you think will like it, and we will appreciate you for forever.
Thanks for listening to Pale Blue Pod. You'll hear us again next week.
Bye.